2026 is here. New games will come and go, consoles will launch, graphics will get shinier, and trends will change. But me, I'm still here playing retro, and I want to talk about why. The first console I ever fell in love with was the Sega Mega Drive, or the Sega Genesis if you're in the US. I didn't even own one at first. My introduction came from watching my cousin play. I still remember it clearly. She was playing Sonic 2 and it was the half pipe stages that completely hooked me. That was my first real exposure to Sonic as a character and as a game. My cousin plays as Sonic, and my sister played as Tails. I was just watching, but even then, something clicked. The speed, the music, the colors, the sense of momentum. It felt exciting in a way I hadn't experienced before. That was the moment gaming really stuck with me, and it's a memory that stayed with me all these years later. That's part of what makes retro games special to me. They stick with you. Retro games feel honest compared to a lot of modern gaming. There's no hand holding, no endless tutorials explaining every little mechanic. You're dropped into the game, given the basics, and then it's up to you to figure things out. The controls are usually simple and easy to understand, but the difficulty ramps up fast. You actually have to learn the game, not just coast through it. And the challenge feels earned. When you fail, it's usually on you. When you succeed, it feels satisfying. Another big thing is the emphasis on gameplay over graphics. Older games didn't have the luxury of massive storage or cutting edge visuals, so they had to rely on strong mechanics, tight controls, and a memorable design. If the gameplay wasn't good, the game simply didn't work. The music is another huge part of that. Because developers were working with limited hardware, they had to be creative. The result was music that was catchy, memorable, and full of personality. Even decades later, you can still recognize many of these tracks instantly. Compare that to some modern games where the soundtrack is technically impressive but fades into the background. Not all modern games do this, of course, but it happens often enough to be noticeable. Retro games also put a lot of care into atmosphere and identity. Their level design was memorable, their worlds felt distinct. You could remember specific stages, specific moments, even specific sound long after you stopped playing. And because the games were more focused, each title felt unique. You could tell them apart easily. They had their own identity. That sense of memory and preservation is important to me. These games weren't just products, they were experiences, and they still hold up because of how well they were designed. So with 2026 now here, I want to talk about what to expect from this channel going forward. This year, I'm going to focus more on specific consoles. One of the main ones will be the PS4. At this point, it's old enough to be interesting, but not so new that it feels out of place on a channel like this. It's kind of in that perfect middle ground. That said, retro isn't going anywhere. There will absolutely still be videos on PS1 titles, and I'm planning to branch out into systems like the SNES as well. That's something I haven't really done before on this channel, and I think it'll be a nice change of pace. I also want to start covering more bad games. So far, I've mostly talked about games that are decent, good, or genuinely great, but I haven't really explored the mediocre ones or the ones that fall below average. And honestly, there's a lot to talk about there. Sometimes bad games are just as interesting, if not more so, than good ones. As for the types of videos you can expect, there will be more reviews for sure, but I also want to start doing Let's Plays. Games like Sonic Adventure 2 are perfect for this. These won't just be silent playthroughs though. I plan to do commentary over them, discussing the game as it's being played, talking about what works, what doesn't, and how it holds up today. The style will be similar to classic LPs, inspired by creators I grew up watching, but still very much my own. I want it to feel relaxed, thoughtful, and personal, not rushed or overly edited, more discussion driven, but still entertaining. All of this will come on top of the regular review content you're already used to seeing here. If you love retro games, you're in the right place. This channel is going to cover a lot of games this year, hopefully more than last year, or at least around the same amount. There will also still be gaming news coverage like before. More importantly, I want to make sure there's a reason for you to stick around. My goal is to make each video feel unique, with my own flavor added on top. I don't want this channel to feel generic or interchangeable with any other gaming channel out there. I want Davu Retro Gaming to have its own identity, something familiar but still fresh, something honest, just like the games that inspired it in the first place. So if you're here for retro, discussion, reviews, and a genuine love for gaming history, 2026 is going to be a good year, and I'm glad you're here for it.